Hello, and welcome to Rethinking Our History, where we seek to shed a light on events that have been forgotten and covered up, and to make us all question how much do we really know about our history? I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian, and we are here to reveal all the sordid details of history that have been swept under the rug. Get ready to get angry, be curious, and maybe have a laugh or two as we rethink our history.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us for another lesson, number 75. We are back this week from vacation.
Woo.
Woo! It was fun to get away to the coast, even though my period came 4 days early from cunt.
Oh man, we had the best B&B too.
Oh, it was so nice. It was really, really nice.
Shout out to B&B lady if you're listening.
Mona. Her name was Mona. If you find Mona in, what was it? Villa Laguna?
Yeah.
Villa Laguna. It's a really nice 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house on a lagoon right outside of Savannah.
Turtles everywhere.
Turtles, the fucking turtles. Dude, I'd go
Like
out every
white
morning,
bottlenose turtles.
drink a cup of coffee,
crazy.
and see turtles. Just
Thought it was an alligator.
The turtles. Actually, we found out it wasn't a bottlenose. It was different turtles.
Was it?
They had a map in one of the stores that we went into
Oh,
that I was
okay.
looking at, and I was like, oh, those are there was like 2 in particular. I was like, it was those turtles.
Yeah.
Because our friend that was with us saw a darker turtle than you saw.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that was fun, even though Flo showed up.
Yeah.
That's what I get for going to the beach 4 days before my period's supposed to start when there's a full moon. Don't do that, ladies. If your period's supposed to start within a week, don't go to the beach on a full moon.
It's also rough tides, man. The tides was
Because,
like crazy because the moon.
yeah. And like, I literally believe that was what did it because, and people are like, oh my God, she's talking about her period. Y'all shut the fuck up. Every woman has a fucking period. We can talk about this.
Yeah.
We were there for the first 2 days of my period. And I know some ladies out there are like me, they get really heavy at the beginning and then it lightens off throughout the days. Those first 2 days, I damn near had my whole period.
Yeah.
And we were at the beach.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was terrible. But anyways, it was fun. We got to go swimming. The girls got to play in the pool a lot.
Yeah.
Got to go to a fort. It was pretty fun. Got candy.
Yeah, they played in the pool so much like their hands started welting up.
Yeah. It was fun though.
From the chemicals.
I'm impressed, which is weird because it was a saltwater pool. Why do you have chlorine in a saltwater pool?
Oh no, it was very strange.
It makes no sense.
Didn't smell like a saltwater pool neither.
Mm-mm.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe. I don't know.
In there for the smell.
So I'm going to add a warning at the beginning of this episode. This week we are going to be discussing child abuse, suicide, and death, specifically tied to the troubled teen industry. If you were lucky enough to not have been involved with this industry, count yourself blessed. If you have, and this episode will trigger your trauma, skip it if you need to. You can come back next week for more Thomas Edison bullshit. My friend, who I will call Sam, who we went on vacation with, our kids, and I didn't actually ask her if I could use her name. She probably wouldn't care, but
right.
Just to be respectful of her privacy. So Sam, Ian, and I stayed up after the kids went to bed, and we would talk. And the things that Sam told us about what she had to go through as a teenager. My God.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I did my time in places outside of my home as a teenager that I had no control over and I did not want to go to. I did 3 stints in local group homes for wayward children that was ran by the Baptist Association.
Oh, Baptist.
Yeah. Spent a weekend up a mountain in an 8x10 cell where I had 1 hour a day outside. And I cannot remember where that place was. It was terrible. It was literally an 8x10 cell. I had a cot and a toilet and a window. I wasn't even allowed to read.
Damn.
And I was in there for 48 hours.
Wow.
Longest fucking weekend of my life. I also spent a weekend in the local county jail. And that was when it was actually still on Main Street.
Yeah.
Ghetto.
Right.
All of this happened by the time I was 19. Again, things I had no control over, and many of these my mother did not even ask for. They were court ordered. So imagine, if you will, your parent pays $25 to $40,000 to have you essentially kidnapped from your home and shipped to another country where untold horrors await you.
Yeah. No, the different country thing, I would not do it.
You don't have a choice.
That's crazy.
You really don't have a choice. This is what happened to our friend Sam and hundreds, if not thousands, of other kids who were forcibly removed from their homes and sent to one of the locations ran by the Worldwide Association of Specialty Programs in Schools. And this is why I use an acronym for the title, because I ain't writing all that shit out.
That's the first thing that popped up when I typed in Worldwide Association.
Mm-hmm. This organization was founded in 1998 by Robert Litchfield out of Laverkin, Utah. Utah. This organization is at the core of the troubled teen industry and ran some of, if not the worst facilities for kids. They did not work alone, however. They contracted out parts of their operations, such as admissions, transportation, and education. The organization hit its peak around 2004 and had thousands of enrolled in students, making them millions of dollars a year. If you were older, you probably have some idea about the troubled teen industry. When I think of this, I specifically think of early 2000s watching shit like before Maury came all about like Who's the Daddy?
Mm-hmm.
Maury Povich, Ricky Lake, Sarah Jesse Raphael, and they would all have these troubled kids come on there and then they would take them off to some boot camp. That's what I always think about when I think about these troubled or like scared straight,
Yeah.
you know? Um, there have been widespread and rampant accusations of abuse, physical, sexual, and emotional, as well as several suicides and suspicious deaths. By the late 2000s, many of the schools affiliated with the WWASPS had been closed or had cut ties with the organization. They had attempted to expand into Booneville, Missouri by attempting to buy the campus of the Kemper Military School, but the Booneville City Council rejected the proposal. Maybe that had something to do with the suicide that happened in 2001. And honestly, this is kind of bounces all over the place because it's a lot. There's a lot of different facilities. This was like one of the latest, but they had like 20 facilities across the globe.
Wow.
So that's not great.
No.
17-year-old Valerie Ann Huron had just arrived at Tranquility Bay in Calabash Bay, St. Elizabeth Parish, Jamaica. This program ran from 1997 to 2009, and I think this might have been where our friend was sent because a lot of things that they told us they experienced match with things that we're going to discuss.
Oh man.
This is the place where parents paid $25,000 to $40,000 a year to send their kids. Most of the kids were sent there from the U.S. due to substance abuse issues or behavioral issues. Many of the students spent 3 years or more there. Founded in 1997, it would not take long for legal trouble to find the school. In 1998, the family of David von Blerigen went to the police and reported the Center for Kidnapping and False Imprisonment. The family filed a writ of habeas corpus, but it was denied by Judge Ken Kawachi due to lack of evidence of abuse. Then we get to Valerie, who had only been at the center for 24 hours. Why did I skip over that so much? I was talking about Tranquility Bay. Okay, see? Hey, fun fact, guys. I was recently diagnosed with ADHD on top of my autism and CPTSD. So, yay.
ADHD.
Then we get to Valerie, who had only been at the center for 24 hours, when on August 10th, 2001, she ran from her room on the second floor and jumped 35 feet to her death.
Jesus.
Sadly, that did not stop people from sending kids there. In fact, in 2001, the government of the Cayman Islands began sending their teenagers there. A documentary titled Locked in Paradise was aired that examined the conditions within the facility and concluded that its regimen was quote unquote highly strict. Some parents saw the program as tough love, while organizations such as UNICEF saw some of the practices as abusive. Things came to a head in 2008 when a lawsuit was filed against the center by a Jewish family out of Brooklyn. Actually, no. The lawsuit was filed by a Jewish family out of Texas. Isaac Hirsch was sent to the school at 15 or 16 and was there for a year before the suit was filed. He had been placed with a foster family in Texas, but was told by his father that he had a job for him in Brooklyn. When he arrived in the city, he was put in handcuffs and thrown into a van that took him to the camp. Isaac and his father had always had a strained relationship, and in 2002, while living in Israel, he and his wife Miriam were accused of abusing Isaac. The State Department did take this suit seriously and was able to get Isaac released from Tranquility Bay. What a fucking name.
Yeah.
So one might be wondering, what makes these places so abusive?
Was that? Where is that at? Is it on like anywhere near Nassau?
I'm not sure. It's in let's see exactly where it was at. Calabash Bay, St. Elizabeth Parish. God, I hope not. All right. So one might be wondering what made these places so abusive. Let us start with how the kids are getting to the centers. These places outsource this part of the program to quote unquote teen escort companies.
All right.
Now, it sounds
Teen
like
escorts.
they're pimping out kids. That's not what that means. Escort literally means to like go with someone somewhere.
Kidnap them.
Yeah, that was my next sentence. These businesses are legally kidnapping children from their homes at the request of the parents, leaving them with lasting trauma.
I'm sure.
This practice is called gooning and consists of a group of people showing up at their house, usually in the dead of night, to forcibly remove them from their home.
Jesus.
Quote, aggressive tactics such as being assaulted, restrained with handcuffs, or hog-tied with cable wires were common. Children were sometimes picked up at school with the school staff unaware of the escort company's employees' true intentions, end quote. If a kid resists being taken, they could be threatened, tied up, and even have a hood put on their head. An extremely famous example of gooning and subsequent abuse is what happened to Paris Hilton at 17 when she was forcibly removed from her home and sent to Provo Canyon School. This particular school is not affiliated with the WWASP, which might be why it's still open and running today. Since 1978, there have been reports of various kinds of abuse at that school. Back to the WWASP, after the kids were kidnapped from their homes, they were subjected to punishments which have been described as torture by some. Attack theory is something that is not only used in these schools, but in cults as well. Quote, attack therapy is a type of pseudotherapy. It involved confrontational interactions between the patient and a therapist, or between a patient and fellow patients during a group therapy, in which the patient may be verbally abused, denounced, or humiliated by the therapist or other members of the group, end quote.
That's not therapy. That's abuse.
You think? It is believed that this practice, as well as others, are in fact inspired by the practices of one certain cult, Synanon. In fact, within that cult, this practice is called the Synanon game. It is believed to be one of the most violent cults to have existed in the US. So to have their practices be the basis of treatment for kids is problematic to say the least.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to call these people kids because even though some of these victims were there until they were like 18, 19, they're still fucking children.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 40 soon. And that 19 teen teen
Right.
teenager's still a kid,
Sure.
you know? Then we get to observation placement. This was a punishment in which privileges and points would be reduced. Then the kid would be forced to lay in a prone position face down on the floor while a staff member watched them. Our friend showed me how this was done. They had to keep their chin on the floor, no laying the head down whatsoever. Feet had to be flexed with toes pointed to the ground, no moving your legs, hands behind your back. She once spent 16 hours in this position, and if you move, they would sit on you.
What the hell?
So that's not cool.
No, because then you can't breathe.
Huh? Yeah, and a full grown adult sitting on a child, folks.
Right.
Then, up until 1998, staff used pepper spray to keep the kids in control.
That's good.
They allege they quit using it in 1998, but I take that with a grain of salt. They would also be denied food, forced to eat their own vomit, and be locked in dog cages.
Shoo.
In the Czech Republic, yeah, Europe, the Morova Academy was shut down by authorities, and its managers, who were from the US, were arrested for a variety of charges, including torture and false imprisonment. Paradise Cove in Western Samoa. They went to Samoa. That's so fucked up.
Right.
That is like one of the most family centric cultures, and you're going to torture kids there. The state, Paradise Cove in Western Samoa was investigated by the State Department for allegations of solitary confinement and withholding food. In 2004, Mexican authorities raided Casa by the Sea and also shut it down. And I think our friend also was sent to that one as well
Yeah.
because she said that she was in Jamaica and Mexico.
Right.
In August of 2007, Randall Hinton was convicted of one count of third-degree assault and one count of false imprisonment. This stemmed from his time at the Royal Gorge Academy. Would you like to know what his sentence was?
6 years.
You wish. He spent 25 days in jail and got 1 year probation
What the fuck? For torturing kids.
for assaulting and imprisoning a child.
It's crazy.
25 days in jail. In 2013, a lawsuit was settled for $3 million. The suit came from the death of a 16-year-old girl at Spring Lodge Creek. The girl was forced to carry buckets of rocks just hours before she took her own life. In 2016, the Midwest Academy in Keokuk, Iowa, was raided by the FBI after they received allegations of sexual abuse and fraud. Owner Benjamin Train was convicted of both physical and sexual abuse in 2018. Although WWASP and affiliated programs have been shut down, staff from those places have went on to open other programs. One such spin-off is the Reflections Academy in Montana. This new campus is only 17 miles from Spring Creek Lodge Academy and was founded by Michelle Manning, former president of the board of the WWASP program Youth Foundation Success Academy, and was the principal at Spring Creek. They have also been in
sick people, man.
Yeah. It has also been involved in suits claiming sexual and physical abuse, as well as a suicide that happened at the program. Another program that opened up after WWASP shut down was the Atlantis Leadership Academy in Jamaica. As recent as 2024. So this one's also still open.
So that one sounds like it's at the Atlantis in Nassau.
Isn't it like a hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's there.
No.
I didn't see exactly. Actually, hang on. I can look it up. I think that's just a name.
Yeah.
Mm, Can I get an address instead of all the news? It's giving me a bunch of news. I'm like, I know all of that. I wrote it in here.
Right.
Ew, I don't like that. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tranquility spots in the Caribbean.
There's a global outreach charter academy high school in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, it's not giving me a location.
Right.
Just a lot of news.
Yeah. That's all right. Keep going.
As recent as 2024, 8 boys were removed from the school after allegations of abuse. 5 staffers have been arrested for child abuse. This abuse included, quote, being beaten, put in stress position for hours, forced to exercise until they vomited, and even waterboarding, end quote.
That's crazy.
Yep. The school was opened by Randall Cook, who has not been charged with any abuse. Students described horrible abuse at the hands of the staffers, including being forced to sit on a stool for hours and getting beaten if they moved. One boy described having a hose sprayed up his nose to the point where he could not breathe. That shit gives me anxiety.
Shoo, how do you drown a kid like that?
They're fucking sadistic, man.
Yeah.
Like, I I did not think about this when I was doing the notes, but I'm like, do they have ties to Epstein?
Maybe.
Because this seems like some shit he would have got some joy out of. You got to like,
Sure.
I almost feel like you got to be on the same sick wavelength to do this.
Make money like torturing kids.
Yeah, like you're over here sexually abusing kids and making money off of it, and then eating babies, and then over here you're like abusing kids and making money off of it, and it's like there's something wrong in your brain.
Right.
Something is not connected up there the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Morning began with a 2-hour workout that consisted of running laps or hundreds of push ups. And if the boys stopped, they were beaten, sometimes either with a pipe, sometimes with a whip. They would whip them
Jesus.
in Jamaica. It's fucking terrible.
That is terrible.
I mean, it's terrible to whip people regardless of where they're at. But they were also denied food as punishment as well. Pictures show a dramatic difference in the boys' weights in the 7 months they were kept there. Solitary there was a small shed called the box where they would be put for days on end, only being fed rice and water with a bucket to use for the bathroom. I should also add these places don't have air conditioning.
And they're pretty close to the equator.
Imagine going to Jamaica or Mexico and being forced to do all this in 100-degree weather.
Shoo.
It is really no surprise that our friend wants to move to Alaska.
Yeah.
So, Bill, thoughts on the WWASP and its bullshit schools and programs?
Pretty fucked up. It's horrible. I don't see how anybody could send their kid there,
I don't
no
understand
matter
it
how
either.
bad they're being.
I really don't. And like my mom, there was one time where like I got sent to a group home and she was like, "All right, you need to stay here for a little bit longer." And I came back and I was better because I hated that place and they weren't even abusive.
Right.
They were extremely strict. It was bordering on a prison like environment. It was a house, but like we had to let them know when we were going to the bathroom. We had to ask for food. We had to ask to go outside. We had to ask to watch the TV. We had very strict phone times throughout the week. We had to go to church every time the doors were open,
Right.
you know? Like, but nobody ever laid a hand on us in that place.
Yeah.
They never tied us up. They never restrained us. Like, the worst thing that happened was I had to cut down some small trees one time, I think, because I got caught smoking out in front of the school.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it was not great, but holy shit. This shit's wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking wild. And I'm so sorry to my friend and anybody else who had to go through this. You did
Sure.
not deserve that.
No.
You really, really didn't. And I'm sorry. You deserved better. And your parents were shit. And I hope
Yeah.
they know that. Sorry, I had to burp. Wait, wait, there might be more. A little bit. All right, friends. Well, thanks for being with us today. Don't want to say I hope you enjoyed that episode because there wasn't really much enjoyable about that episode.
No, it's fucked up.
Kind of sucks. Sucks a lot. Well, we hope you guys have a good week and we will see you guys later.
Be kind to each other.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.